ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014 semi-finals, live from the Commerzbank Arena. Cloud9 busy signing their lives away right now. Make sure you keep them, put them on a check somewhere, take them into the bank. I'm joking, of course. We do have a little bit of a change here on the desk right now as well. The people just finding their seats for our third and final game. I'm thrilled to say that Alliance didn't make the final, which actually means it's great for us because we get Loader on the desk. How you doing?
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah? I don't think you are. You'd be happier in the final.
I have to say that.
Yeah,
I would be happier in the final, but we're actually still quite okay.
Okay, yeah, no sort of, you know, because Cloud9 were a bit down yesterday and then we're okay today, but you seem sort of, whatever.
I don't know. Nah, not at all, but I think that IG was just a better team today, and now we know everything about them.
I was going to say, it's a bonus for the international. We're just lulling the Chinese into a full sense of security. It's all good. Pycat's back with us as well. What do you make of the second game?
Well, the second
crazy,
game,
right?
It was pretty crazy. I mean, the draft, it didn't, in my eyes, it didn't look very good for Fnatic.
Yeah.
They didn't really seem like they had any sort of synergy. The fact that they managed to take it so late allowed their heroes to get strong, but I think it was due to the fact that EG didn't utilize their lineup properly in early game. They didn't make any use of that bottom, and the Lion didn't do that much up until the point where he got Blink.
Right.
And Doom's item build was also rather strange, but...
Okay, well, we're going to get into the draft for Game 3 very shortly. Seb, the improvement of having Loader and Pycat on the desk, team desk now, I think we could probably compete. You guys could probably carry me.
Yeah, the only problem is that it's getting really unbalanced right now, like the team 1 versus the team 2. I mean, I don't know offense, Bruno, but...
Yeah, exactly, right?
I don't think, we're in trouble.
I'll carry you.
Okay, so if we're doing 2v2s, you guys are in trouble right now.
We got that, easy 2v2.
Really?
Yeah, sure.
Actually, me and Pycat are extremely strong
Challenge
together.
accepted?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Bruno is very good and fucking mad, of course, but me and Pycat, we have this special Swedish synergy.
Connection. Yeah, because I know that you only like playing with Swedes now.
No comments.
Hey, Bruno, what do we expect Game 3?
Okay, so something has to be done about that dire Lycan. It can't happen again. Of course, Fnatic is probably going to be playing the Radiant side this time. I wanted to give you just a statistic, and I have a theory. I'm gonna let you see if it's just accident or truth.
Okay.
Enigma and Lycan together played 13 games, won 11 of them.
Really?
Yes. Do you have any idea, or is it just like two random heroes that happen to be good together?
It would be interesting to know how many times on the dire side, because in my opinion it's always that, Enigma getting the mech and then being able to force the Roche fight with the Lycan pretty fast and then being able to snowball. That's classic, and we've seen maybe 10, I don't know how much, but many games like this.
No, it's actually very even. It's 6 and 5.
That's interesting
because
because the Chinese have actually been playing it dire side a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's a very simple way, in my opinion, to just snowball and get advantage. Just build it slowly, and then you just end up, winning the game. Doesn't really look like a game, in my opinion, because you don't get the chance to fight it back. But
right. So if they're going to have to do something about the Lycan, where else do they go?
Well, they might just ban the Lycan. Lycan might get banned this game, and then he's gone, Yeah. No Lycan. Go back to the first game, there was the Lycan was banned. He's gone. So we don't have to talk anymore about Lycan.
No,
good, let's move on
but the
quickly.
Enigma is still there, and the Venomancer is still there.
I actually have to say that I think that Venomancer is like Fnatic's best hero. I'm not even kidding. Like, they just put tricks on that hero and he's just being annoying. One of those lanes just kept pressuring with the wards, and he was actually a famous Venomancer player, and when they used to play Han together, and I think that's pretty much the same team. So he loves that hero, and what to say? I don't really know how to describe why they were so good with Venomancer, but it seems to work out for them. I think it's very annoying to face their Venom, for sure.
Have you got heroes like that, though, that you play that other teams just go, why are they so good? How do they, there's nothing we know that they do, and...
There's no hero you can...
There's a certain Bulldog that plays something...
I'm trying to tease him. Give me a break here, guys.
I play like a new hero every game, so I'm not really sure
Really?
that's my kind of thing, but yeah.
Loda, since you're here, and I like to hear your opinion, and also the rest of the panel, there has been a resurgence of these very teamfight-oriented heroes recently. You see the Tidehunter and Enigma a lot. Is there a reason why?
Well, I mean, people tend to go a lot more as 4 or 5. Like, for example, people like to, if you pick up the Lycan pick, for example, you like to get a Tidehunter, so you make sure that your team fight is quite strong. Then maybe you push sometimes as 4. sometimes S5 with the Lycan, with just the Tide standing in front that early in the game. You cannot really defend the towers without, losing a couple of heroes to the Tide Ravage or whatever, and they can just back off after that. So I think it's...
Is it also that the Tide Hunter also can farm Ancients really easily right now?
Yeah, and he's so strong against carries on the lane, especially. Like, for example, I saw was there yesterday when someone played like this, I think it was Navi who played Disruptor and Void against the Tide Hunter, and like those kind of lanes for Tide Hunter, he has the best game of his life pretty much. And but I think to me it seems like a team like IG doesn't really seem to play as much like that as well. It seems to be a European way of playing right now, which is quite funny because it used to be the other way around. Like the Chinese used to revolve around these team fight heroes, and now some of them are playing really aggressive Dota.
In that draft, we're missing a very key hero, in my opinion, which is Brewmaster. It has been ignored by both teams. I mean, understandably so for Fnatic, because he's already facing two really reliable Zabos versus him, but I think it could be a really good pick for EG, and I wonder if Arteezy plays that hero. I'm not sure.
I highly doubt that they're gonna pick that. I think the Mason is gonna play the Doom, and then Universe on the Tide, and then Bane is probably PBD, and they usually run these 4 fighter heroes, and then Arteezy gets a farmer hero.
Right.
And it's not likely that he would pick up the Panda.
Okay.
So if there was no Doom or no Tide, then perhaps like Mason would play one.
Only
He does play the
Mason
hero?
that plays Panda
Mason plays
in that
Panda,
team,
I
right?
think.
Okay,
And
he
so-
doesn't play it on the mid.
No, he doesn't.
All right.
We see IG, for example, as I said before, playing these really aggressive pushing lineups. Now we see the Enigma and the Venomancer with the wards. There is a lot of potential for Fnatic to go for the heavy push. Against the Tide Hunter, Doom and Vayne, there's not much wave clearance. Maybe is it the right choice to go? Get some Shadow Shaman going in there.
For sure, I think especially the heroes really suit Fnatic as a team. I know that Fly is a great Enigma player and he really loves that hero. As I mentioned before, Trixie really likes that Venomancer pick, but the thing is you can always switch it around if you want, and I love these heroes that you can put pretty much on any lane. You can even put the Venomancer mid if it's up against a hero that will pretty much dominate this lane. You just put Venom mid, just spam the wards, he can't really gank you, they can't really pressure you, and it's hard to gank him, as I said, so.
That's true. Also, I remember that in your first game versus Cloud9 yesterday, I don't know if you remember that.
It was a long time ago. And he's an old man these days. So,
exactly. My memory is getting a bit...
Don't worry, you'll be like Paul one day.
Another 2 years.
It gets better, right?
But you guys went like really all in this. You had a lot of initiators to the point where last pick you went Clockwork for Bulldog, if I'm correct. Sometimes it feels like some teams decide to go for, okay, this team has a vulnerability, let's go with 5 heroes that can affect that vulnerability. While some teams are like, we get 1 or 2 heroes that counter, and then the rest things will be more balanced.
Yeah, well, I think it's more like when you face a team that plays really greedy, it really pays off to have like 5. Like today when we play against IG, you have 5 heroes that can pretty much do a lot in early, mid, and late game. So they will just never let you relax, pretty much.
Oh wow!
Oh my! I have faced this. If I guess correctly, it will probably be. Actually now.
No, Razor last pick.
Actually, no, I don't really know. They usually tend to do like Venomancer and Undying off lane just to like ruin the lane for the safe lane, but I'm not really sure. I mean,
so basically right now I think Fnatic's analysis is like they have nothing to outpush EG, like they really have nothing to clear a wave unless they commit to it. So and Fnatic will try to siege with the Venomancer and the Enigma. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. I'm not saying it's going to be enough, but they might get a pusher as their 5th pick, and then they're good to go.
I think so. I think they're gonna pick up either something like Pugna or Razor, and then it's gonna be a core Undying. I think core Undying and Veno and Shaker and Enigma are the
I think it's gonna be like a carry.
I think it's gonna be like this Undying against these 3 strength heroes. He's gonna just
Pugna is a really good pick.
He's gonna decay everyone.
Pugna would probably suit this lineup for sure.
What do you build on core Undying these days? I mean, if you get some farm, what do you go for?
Just early game items.
Do you really want to bring the game to a late game with Undying?
No, not really. That's the thing. So
I'll
try to end it.
I could see a vibe.
I don't even know because the
Scepter is actually pretty good right now.
it's kind of good. But I mean, I would suppose he would even go for a Budge, maybe
really
like
good pick
Pipes.
versus Undying.
Yeah.
I think Razor is a good pick here for Fnatic.
I mean, that TA is a
But
very
Razor or Pugna?
it's a very risky pick though, because it's obviously super bad versus Veno and Undying. I mean, Sort of. I mean, it's really good versus Undying, but it dies to the early game. Into the Tombstone and the Venom Ward, it's going to be really hard for Arteezy. They're looking to a mid-game, late-game fight.
I just have no idea how they're gonna lane this. I think, was it fnatic that did a Shaker offlane once?
They just roam around with Hani, I guess.
No, fnatic does the Quelling Blade and Earthshaker on no tail, and he just... Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, but sometimes Hani plays it as well.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's true.
recently he's
That's
been playing
correct.
a lot,
Yeah,
so
we were talking about that today. Yeah, that's also true.
We've seen us void in the lane. I like this. This is actually really cool.
Well, what do you know? The Meepo is back again. Does it work the second time round? We're about to find out. Hold on to your seats, everyone, at the Commerzbank Arena and at home. It's the third and final game of the semi-final. It's Evil Geniuses versus fnatic. Let's join our commentators.
Yes, welcome back, everyone. EG versus fnatic. It is our final deciding game. Malini, it's been a fun run. And we have ourselves a very unique draft coming into our final game.
I think Meepo's going to be set up for success this game.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
You're not concerned about like the burst damaging TA, the Mel coming in, having them all group up and getting Sideblade attack damage coming through? You're not worried about this at all?
I'm concerned about TA getting any sort of farm and having any impact in the fights.
Yeah.
I think she's going to get rocked. I think there were a lot of better options out for EG. Ember Spirit, I think most notably, too, especially since Ferrari has shown so much success with it. They could have done like a Naga Siren, which Arteezy is well known for too. So I don't have much faith in the TA, but they are on Dire's side.
And I have faith in the TA's custom set. That's what I have faith in. It's a really sexy set coming out there from Arteezy. But yeah, right now, let's have a quick run through from our lineup. Actually, we may not even try and do this one because we won't have a lot of time. Now, normally, okay, we've talked about this time and time again. You run an Enigma, you expect the enemy to go through your jungle, ward it all up, so you can't control anywhere. But when you throw an Undying into the mix, this completely changes everything because Undying is really, really powerful when you run him as an aggro tri-laner. He just changes the balance of absolutely everything. And when you got a Venomancer already up there too, that's going to be like, where do we find our lanes? Like fnatic, they run Hani as the Earthshaker. He normally roams. He has no lane which he says this belongs to me kind of thing. So I'm interested to see where fnatic really settle into their lanes after their early movement.
So what exactly are they going to do for lanes? Hani starting off with boots first.
I got a feeling this is just going to be a Hani block. He's going to throw a Fissure here, hold it back for Trixie, and then Trixie plays the off lane with Fly. So they try and run a dual lane out here with high-level Gale, and Trixie has done this in the past too, where he actually doesn't go Plague Ward straight up. He may do it on just 2 levels, but then he'll try and go Poison Sting as well as Venomous Gale as high as he possibly can, and then they just try and find kills.
I must say that fnatic places Earthshaker and Meepo very, very well though. Hani always looks out for Excalibur's needs and protects him as much as possible.
The one that got away. The one that got away.
He purposely did that.
Did he?
Yeah.
To let the range creep die?
Yeah. I watched him block. And it looked very intentful.
Well, the creep wave still holds in the perfect position.
Zai.
Are they in trouble? Oh, he's trying to run a safe on the bottom, but now they're going to go in deep. The Gush already PPD, and Excalibur, he gets a great Earthbind. He's in the corner, salving up. He's underneath the towers, moving himself around PPD with the double damage. He needs to get closer. Excalibur back into the trees, hide in the trees where it's safe. He needs to come through again. Another one up. He's back in range of his tower. Keeps the run going. PPD brain sap. It's 25 light points. He's still up. Hani, he does have Fissure. PPD. Excalibur, stay in the trees. He's on the out. He's in. He's safe. He's got Earthbind available. They're coming back down again though. Hellfire Blast off cooldown. Gush as well. Excalibur. He needs extra heal. They don't want him to run out of here because they're not quite sure where the rest of EG are moving at the moment. But he is healing up quickly. And EG, they're on the prowl. They smell blood.
He learned from game one. Game one, he went Pro Man Shield without a salve. This game, he went a salve and it completely saved his life. And if he had to salve game one, he wouldn't have lost the lane so terribly versus Arteezy. So smart pickup by Excalibur, quick to adapt.
Man, I love this as well for, as far as decisions in lanes, they put Universe into the lane and they predicted it perfectly, EG. So they get the Tide going up against the Meepo with the support for kills, and they're coming in again. Hellfire Blast, a Fissure though from Hani, buying the space, feeds the brains up again. Gush will get the kill, Universe will take it. Hani's on the run out here as well as the Flying Llama, and Zai, he's getting in front for the body block over on Hani. This is really troublesome. Have they got another stun? Brain sap, 1 second. There it is, and will it be enough? He's not in range. They will back themselves up. They couldn't get the kill with it as well. Yeah, but the other lane you see, it's N0tail going up against Arteezy, and Arteezy is not having himself a fun time here at all.
Yeah, he's getting bullied pretty hard by N0tail.
He's getting creeps denied, and he can't hold his refraction charges, or defensive absorb charges, just because these conversions. The conversions do a crap ton of damage too.
Yeah, nice play from fnatic, switching things up, and Arteezy went a Wraithman build and not having an early bottle yet. Still doesn't even have the money.
For some reason, Fly has managed to get 3 decay charges over on Mason, bringing a rather tanky Doombringer down to 473 life points. Trixie has free reign on the top lane. The Doombringer's not there. He's been completely zoned out from the Venomancer. And Venomancer, this is when Trixie says, well, okay, Doombringer's having no intention to fight me. His damage is like really, really bad anyway. So let's just get high levels up in Plague Wards, and he should be forcing this top tower. They need this tier 1 tower to come under pressure to force the supports from EG to come off the bottom lane. Now, Nightmare, can PPD get himself in range for this one? It looks like he's just trying to zone out Excalibur. He's almost level
top
3.
lane.
Now they're going for it. Well, there's already Tombstone. Fly, body blocking up Mason as well. The Gale's already gone. Mason, TP support's coming in from the Bane. This is what they needed to do. PPD comes in. He's got Nightmare of There's a lot of poison on Mason, but he's still regenerating up. The Scorched Earth has worn off. He's at a 90 life points, not looking too healthy. But Fnatic, they get what I was just talking about. They got the response from EG. Now it's a tied off-lane solo.
Yeah, he already has Arcane Boots, though, off the back of the First Blood, and Meepo finally getting some space to breathe, and this is exactly what EG did not want to have to do.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to bring everybody back up again, because this just works for the Undying's favor. You bring more people into a lane, he's got more people he can decay with every single hit, and not have to keep wasting his mana on it.
And you actually see Arteezy have a TP scroll, too, so he's ready in case they play over-aggressive.
Hani is so close. He doesn't have... where is his levels? He doesn't have level 2 yet. He can throw a fissure, and that's basically all she wrote. And without the black hole from Enigma with an army of conversions, they can't kill off the TA there.
Yep, Excalibur hitting level 4 and already off to the jungle. They just need to create space for him, man. I think Undying's a very, very good hero to do
Trixie,
so.
first stun. Now going to follow up. You're right, without the Doombringer there, like what is this lane apart from like a passive, we leech some experience and take some farm? Can it do anything else?
Not really, not at this point. It's okay though. They just need to get Roshan, get some levels up. They're not really too concerned about getting kills or fending off this top lane, as long as Mason gets some farm, which he is.
I'm wondering if they can even do Roshan. Like I know Arteezy's finally caught up on CS. It's 24-10 up against 23-0 in the middle lane. But for them to actually bring down Roshan is going to be difficult. You're right, Hardy. Solo kill. Wait, what? Nightmare. PPD, Mason. 40 life points and running away. PPD's wondering if he should even go for this. TA's rotating in, but Hani walking west where the skies are blue. Back over towards Fly. He can drop Tombstone and protect him if he really requires.
Oh, I thought he was dead for sure.
It looked like he should have been as well, but like he threw the stun out, but never got anything more. I'm actually wondering too if something happened with the pathing then, like he walked in that direction. Zai, he's in trouble. Fly even drops a Tombstone. They're allowing him to dive, which means the Poison Sting and the Venomancer Gale, what level is that? It's only level 1, so it's no damage coming out from the Venomancer Gale. So they're not dropping him anywhere near low enough, but they're going to try and use the Tombstone to at least force out the towers. You got 3 points up in the Plague Walls as well as the Ring of Basilius, but Trixie's actually out of mana.
Yeah, pretty smart for them to sack the lane, but at the same time, Doom's not actually getting great levels at all. He's only level 3, courtesy of Hani, courtesy of Fly.
Yeah. Man, how aggressive was Fly too? Like you start, like first level Undying, and you're happy to walk all the way over to the very far eastern side of the Dire jungle and battle directly up against a Doombringer. You don't know what aura creep he's going to be picking up, but you just know it as an Undying, you're strong enough to battle him.
Yeah, and Arteezy actually losing in CS to
He
No-tail.
has caught up. He really has caught up though. Like compared to where he was, this Arteezy is looking a hell of a lot better. But you're right though, he is getting pretty well snapped as far as like denies go.
Yeah, it's unusual, but this is a very unusual matchup.
Yeah. You wouldn't, like, how long ago was it we saw Enigma as a core in a lane? That was a very, very long time ago. Now, Zai, he's searching for the Meepo. I know top lane's also getting rather close. Fly coming underneath the tower. Gets the first decay out. But the lane I'm really searching for is this one. Universe, Excalibur, Hellfire Blast, Universe. He's got Ravage if he wants to really try and commit the poop. Yeah, you knew he was going to do it. He had to do it if he was going to get himself this kill. Now, middle lane, N0tail, he's lost his army of conversions. If he had that, he might have considered
PPD
throwing at the
getting
black hole.
dove.
Yeah, it's top lane. There goes to Decay. The CP support coming in. Rain step makes him very difficult to kill off, and Flying, he's diving in deep. It's Arteezy coming in, looking for a kill on Trixie, but Hani just posturing over the Templar Assassin. Trixie will TP himself back out to safety. And of course, so will Hani. Where is he running? He's coming down looking for a kill on Fly. They still haven't got a kill for this rotation right now. They've lost the Bane. Fly popping the stick charges. He's going to try and deny himself up right now. The status will come out, denying not going to happen. Arteezy's able to get the last hit in.
Pretty unfortunate that it's the Satyr creeps. Those don't do enough damage to kill him, especially with the, with those stick charges. Well, still, I think Fnatic very, very good in this early game. Forcing TA to rotate from a lane and only get one kill on a support Undying. They're not getting any high priority targets, and Meepo has died twice, but he's still getting pretty good levels, and pretty unusual to see him pick up a bottle in the side lane.
There's the answer to my question. Only the second time during this patch Enigma goes towards the mid lane solo.
Yeah, it used to be pretty popular like a few...
Yeah, you talking like
not
a year
even few.
ago. It's like a year ago almost, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there was some times when he was played as an off-laner. Like I think there was like a 1 week period when they were running like Lich and Enigma off lane. It was like the double deny phase. But that was like really, really bad those days.
Yeah,
I'm glad they're behind us.
It sounds so good in theory though, Toby.
It really, really does. Like things on paper look really, really good, and then you like you make a mold of it, and it's like
oh my
all
gosh.
of a sudden not as great.
Universe has a blink dagger.
Already?
Yeah. 8 minutes in.
Wow, that's a lot of. He's got 46 for one. No wonder. And look at him where he's going back to base. There's not enough mana for him to do much more. Templar Assassin. Arteezy just prepping some traps. Look at him come down. He's farming up the conversions. That's what he's focusing on. But now the black hole will go. Excalibur, he's bringing friends. More meatbows, which means more nets with the black hole control. Templar Assassin, the sentry ward's there, so he can't hide inside of Meld. And he knew it too well up on top lane. Mason's being dove. Fly is here. Nightmare will stop him. Take it off him so Fly can attack. Another decay. He's getting stunned up. He can't finish the job. Mason, the Scorcher's keeping up. The Pack Wolf Aura really doing some work. The Venomans are focusing the wards. I mean, they're able to get a return kill here. And that Tombstone's not making it any easier either. Maybe they can finish the job. Excalibur and now Notel forcing the tier 1 tower. Universe, he's watching and waiting in the wings. He needs 2 seconds for Templar Assassin to come up. You know he wants to jump, and there's your TP. Zai might die now, but we'll stick with the middle lane. There goes Excalibur trying to poof out. He poofs only to his secondary Meepo. It's not far enough, but the Earthbind holds him there. Blight comes in, decays over on 2. And Excalibur will escape with the Meepo, but then No-Tail can't get out. The Ravage will stop his TP. And Templar Assassin will mop up the rest, but they lost their tier 1 tower in mid. And Zai looks like he died underneath his own tier 1 tower. What happened up there, man?
Just got ticked down to poison. He used a stun, and then he didn't have enough mana for reincarn. So Trixie eventually will get that T1 tower, and that's pretty bad for EG. They can't afford to lose 2 towers this early, and this will really limit their ability to control Roshan.
And this is going to be one hell of an up and down game if it keeps going the way it already has, and we're only 10 minutes into it so far. Man, Universe's control though. I love the way he was waiting for it. Like he knew what he wanted. He was watching Arteezy's like time dead, waiting for him to come back alive again. And Excalibur, the fact he's got that help coming in. We've seen the Earthshaker really being used perfectly by the Chinese teams as well. And Hani, very experienced with it as well.
He's only level 3 though.
Yeah, he needs a lot more, man. I'm wondering if they can even give him some space in the bottom lane. Like if they can make some space in the bottom lane. But I suppose this is also the downside about when you run a Meepo. He does soak up a lot of the map. Now, bottom lane, Zai, the Gale's going to hit. He does have Reincarnate this time around, but the Tombstone, okay, no stuns. That's a bit of a problem with the lineup when you commit like that. But they did manage to make him TP out. The Enigma Reds come to the bottom lane with a head press on the creep wave. They're going to try and force out the tower. The creep wave's not going to go too far, but they don't have Tombstone available for this. And Universe, while he does have Blink Dagger, he doesn't want to jump in too close. Maleficent can cause him a lot of problems here.
I like what Fnatic's doing though. Constantly pressuring towers, forcing them to keep their eyes off of Excalibur. And see, PBD, pretty smart move here.
That's only if it pays off though. Like you can try and pincer, but at the same time, Hani, he's the one to get caught out to start with. But then again, TC doesn't really feel like he's got enough movement speed. Now PPD, he can fiend script this one, and he does from the high ground. He's buying the space. Mason's on his way in. Look at that meld hit. No-Tail is a lot of trouble. Hani, he's got Fissure available. He's going to block the path right now, and he does actually throw it down, but he doesn't actually block it, which means now Arteezy is free to follow up Hani, and he will do so. Meld hit hurts like a truck from Arteezy. Another TA trap around the side, gives it some time so he gets the full slow. One more attack from Arteezy, and he's got the kill on Hani. TP comes in from Fly, but it's already too late. The damage has been done. Speaking of that, a lot of damage being pushed on the top lane. That's the 3 Meepo team going to work up there, while Trixie is going to work on the bottom lane and making it really difficult.
With the haste in mid.
Oh, Fly. Tombstone, he had to do it straight away, but he's dead. He is dead. Soul Rip, maybe not fully dead, into the Undying Ultimate, but PPD manages to make him waste that Undying Ultimate too. Enigma does have Black Hole available. Hani with Fissure, they just use the Malefice and the Conversions. They're trying to get high enough up, but PPD, the Fissure's actually blocked him out. They can't follow him, we're gonna pause. The entire Fnatic lineup, DC's out.
Well, luckily, I don't think anything would have mattered there since that Fissure block.
Yeah,
But
that's one of those moments too, like if PPD was just an inch to the left, it would have actually pulled him back in again. And you can see the conversions. Actually thought the conversions could have moved to the wall and attacked from the wall.
saw Zai with a snicker there.
It's like, well, game was easy. Not that easy though. Yeah, and Fnatic, they're still making those plays though. But that TA, he's getting bigger. He's getting bigger, and that's probably something we should look at for the Templar Assassin. Is 3 for 1 on Arteezy. His CS was shut down pretty early on, but he gets 3 for 1, 61 for 4, running ahead of Midas. Has got level 11, 13 or so minutes into the game. He's getting a lot coming in for that Templar Assassin.
Yeah, they have double Midases. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to deal with a Meepo, though. Meepo 0, 2, and 1, but still playing very elusively around the map and getting a lot of farm. And most importantly, Fnatic's getting towers.
Yeah, and that's really going to hurt him too. Like when you get Tombstone, Plague Wards, as well as Meepo, like that's map control and the ability to force things. Like Undying forcing high ground is a lot more possible. Like when he can bring it, when you look towards like Mech and you have Pipe up and running, you throw Tombstone down, you got a lot more meat shields to allow you to get up towards that high ground. I suppose the main problem is still going to be Blink Tide Ravage. And the fact that one of your cores, you feel like you can go up there, Fiend Script is still going to be also a massive problem as well.
Yeah, and Enigma getting his black holes is going to be extremely, extremely difficult.
But he's going to need some more items before like that's really going to be possible. Like finishing the mech is stage 1.
Yes.
Like
Then he's
you're going to need like BKB. He kind of needs both.
Yeah, I think they can create enough pressure with the Veno, with the Earthshaker, with the Undying and Meepo that he can probably get a safe one off later. Just be patient.
I love the fact that someone's going to read more .de sign there. It's a shame the guy who was running that he actually left earlier today. But yeah, shout out to that guy that's out there. And Fnatic, they must be discussing their current situation.
Yeah, Honey looks a little displeased.
Yeah. Well, this is going to really upset the momentum as well. Like Fnatic, they might be feeling like they're the ones who are in control right now. Like when you're 12 minutes in, you manage to take out every single tier 1 tower, you're going to be feeling pretty damn good about yourself.
It's all about the Roshan, though. Meepo, he lives off Roshans. He needs it. He just is so susceptible, and if they blow enough ultimates and you have an Aegis, you'll just completely win the fight and push off of that. So,
but if we hypothetically try and talk about how Fnatic would take Roshan...
Or prevent EG from doing it.
Or prevent EG from doing it. Like, preventing EG from doing it, I see being a lot better. Like, between Fissure, Venomance, Royalty, as well as Tombstone with Black Hole, that's a lot of controlling abilities, not to mention all the Earthbinds which come out from Meepo. The major problem I'm seeing is EG still have one of the best teamfight controllers in the game. That's the Tidehunter. And if TA traps are set up beforehand, they'll have early warning notice, so you'll have to Sentry Ward, which is already going to reveal the fact that Fnatic is coming over. So, you got problems with that. You know, Bane who can use high ground, because when Fnatic try and breach in towards the base, you've still got 2 high ground ramp areas which EG can manipulate with the Bane. So he can get a Fiend Script off without Fnatic able to get close enough to actually stop him as well. And what they definitely don't need is a Shiva Ravage. That would have a lot of problems. That would have a lot of problems if EG do that. Then Fnatic will walk over them.
A Universe rarely chokes in those sort of situations, and Fnatic, they really don't have a good solution to the Tidehunter Ravage. He's almost always going to be able to get it off, especially with a weak hero like Earthshaker, especially with Hani falling a little bit behind in the early game in terms of levels and experience. He really needs a Blink Dagger if they want to win team fights.
I'm wondering if he's even going to try and rush the Blink Dagger now, or if he just tries to go for Arcane Boots, realizing that like Fissure spam and also giving mana, like Undying doesn't have Arcane Boots either right now. So they're both going to need like large portions of mana to keep this fight going all the time. Even Trixie's going to need some help. Like he's got Arcane Boots as well. Like that's going to be something for the team, but they're going to need more if they're going to try and also like fight from range. If you'd even try and do that, would you actually try and do like this Fissure spam from range?
Not really. They don't have that great pick. So
it's like, yeah, if they had like a Mirana pickup, like with like arrows to fly out or things like this, then yeah, maybe they would actually have something. Because then we look more like what IG or VG Gaming were attempting to do earlier in this competition. That would be one way to try it.
Yeah, but in this particular game, I still think they need to keep up the pressure, though, and it's really difficult when you cast one Fissure and you have to go home for a mana. So
yeah.
I think having Arcane Boots is important because they have Undying on their team. Undying, he starts to level off 20, 25 minutes, I'd say, and Fly's been doing a fantastic job, but his time to shine is almost gone.
I think I just heard in my ear, too, that I think the panel want to have a bit more of a chat about this game while we're halfway through it. So let's throw back over to Paul and the boys, where we have ourselves a bit of a pause here and see what they have to say.
Thanks very much, Toby. Yeah, we're back at the desk and just going to fill up some time while the guys get reset up down there on the stage. Unfortunately, I think they've had a couple of issues to sort out, so we'll get those fixed for them as soon as we possibly can. Gives us a bit of a chance to chat. Loader, what do you think of the game? I mean, you know, Toby says it's halfway through, is it?
Yeah, it's an interesting game for sure. I think the thing I would like to point out is that fnatic put Enigma mid, which I would never have expected. He did very well as well against the TA, but as a Dota player, if you play this game a lot, you kind of know that Enigma 1-on-1 is actually very, very strong and shouldn't be underrated. At the same time, yeah, as Toby said, I think that fnatic is kind of playing against the clock, and I think that their strategy will kind of phase out. They don't have super much disables. They have like a Fissure, they have the Echo Slam, of course. Yeah, and then they have the Meepo. But I think that EG has a good draft against Meepo, and I think that they have a good team fight and everything. And I think that if EG just is able to defend the towers and not make too many mistakes, they should have this game.
Okay, so late game looks like it's EG's. So fnatic presumably got to do something, got to force something soon.
Yeah, and it's pretty difficult when their Shakers, he's low level, he doesn't have any farm whatsoever, he's not going to get a blink anytime soon. The Undying, he's also struggling to get something done. And the Meepo, he can get solo ravaged, and that's fine. Because it's the only guy they need to kill. It's the only guy who is actually going to have any somewhat like late game impact on this game. Maybe the Venomancer, if he can get a lot of items fast, but it doesn't seem very likely right now because they can't really take down any towers, it seems.
Yeah, Bruno, second time in the 3 games that we've seen the Meepo with Excalibur, and it's not really working out, is it? Why?
I mean, it's not the Meepo's fault. I mean, you saw that first attempt at First Blood in the tower. Those jukes were amazing.
They were great.
He clearly knows how to play the hero.
Yeah.
However, it's just so hard to play around those heroes. Sometimes people are, is this hero viable? Is this hero not viable? I think every hero is viable. It's just like sometimes you have to build around them so much that it leaves you to just one possibility, and if that window is closed, you cannot do anymore. And that's what's happening to fnatic right now. The window closed, and not because everyone disconnected, but rather because their time is running out.
Oh wow, that's so BM right there.
Yeah.
That's so BM. Did you see the Brazilian flag?
Yeah.
So BM for an Argentinian.
We'll see at the World Cup. Hope to meet you at the final, Brazil.
Oh, okay. And the World Cup banter enters the desk stage. Seb.
Well, you wouldn't know.
No, I wouldn't know. No, don't talk to us 3 up here. These guys never even qualified, and we're terrible. So
How many people do we have in our country?
more than we do, that's for sure.
Really?
Yeah, no. You have Ibrahim
Yeah, we have one guy.
We have one guy.
We have one player.
Yeah. We rely on him and we hype him, and he's very good. But
He
it's like
sometimes wins
it's
alone.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
But it's like a team game, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't be able to.
So when this stadium hosted a World Cup last,
Yeah.
England won 1-0 against Paraguay. How did Argentina get on?
I think we drew.
Yeah.
Which is better than a loss.
It's the only one small claim I've got against him right now.
But
It's
what,
very
what
thin.
happened to England that year? After that?
Have they
I
ever
don't
been
know.
good?
There was some sort of Argentinian cheating team that made their way through or something. I don't
I
know.
just remember something with a hand.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, no, that was 86.
That was 86.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
86. Yeah.
you really remember?
I mean, you have to understand that. I mean, I'm sorry, Papi, but the best Chen player in the world was Argentinian with his Hand of God.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Points.
I'm laughing inside.
Yeah.
Points.
Score draw. Okay, Seb, what did you think of the half that we may have seen from Game 3?
I do have to say that I agree with what has been said about the Fnatic lineup and the EG's lineup, but it's, on the other hand, it's hard to fight versus Fnatic because it's hard, to assess the real damage they have with all the, the Venogale, the poison, whatever. You have to know what level they have. So basically, you're diving into their lineup, and it's really hard. And pro players, they usually know how much, to the millisecond, how much they can stay in, and how do they have to go back. And here, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But they do have. I know I sound kind of obsessed with the Roshan, but Lanaya on the Dire side, they're gonna get that Aegis for sure at one point. He one medallion plus the Lanaya, they're gonna be able to sort of rush, and that's going to come into play in my opinion.
All right, well, we're going to take a quick break at the desk here. It is, of course, my first ever Dota event, and I'm enjoying it immensely, so thank you for everyone that's given me some kind comments. And thanks for the terrific games as well. Alliance among them last night was absolutely incredible, so I felt really blessed to be here for the first Dota event. It's also someone else's first official Dota event, and that's Capitalist, and right now he's with Zoe.
All right, Cap, so not only is this a massive event, it's also your first ever event. Does that make you nervous?
Not at all, Zoe. Not at all. I am just steel in my bones. No, I am actually rather nervous. I'm a pretty laid-back person, I would say normally, but this whole entire event, just seeing all the massive amount of people, I've been a little bit nervous going into it. I feel like I'm very blessed to have this opportunity. I think that, out ESL giving me this opportunity was huge. I'm so thankful for that. At the same time, this is my one chance to really show everybody what I can do at a LAN event, everything else, and if I do well here, I can snowball that. If I fall on my face here, everybody's gonna know. So I'm a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I was down there with a lot of different people, and just a bunch of people, really, really nice, came up to me and said, "Hey, really like your casting," gave me a hug, all that sort of thing. That just made me feel so much better.
Well, I'm pretty sure that you're going to do just fine, and I can't wait to hear and see you casting. Thanks a lot for taking a brief moment of your time to let me pick your brain, and we're going to hand it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Zoe. Yeah, a brand new meta. It's the casting snowball effect. MWP, most wanted. I mean, it's great to have a guy like that who's been really passionate about the game. He's been commentating for a while now to come to his first event, and it's this one of all events. I mean, it can't get much better.
Imagine if that was my first event back in the day.
How would you feel?
It would be awesome. I mean, this event is just so great. Playing in front of this audience is just a new feeling for sure, and yeah. Nothing to say. It's just amazing.
When you play down there, are you aware of the crowd? I mean, obviously you can see them, but are you aware, or are you so zoned into the match that you just kind of filter it out?
Sure, you're aware of them before the game, and I mean, I remember yesterday when I played against Cloud9, the last game, I kind of looked up at one point and suddenly was pitch black. Right. So sometimes you. I mean, it's good if you're not aware of too much of what they're doing, but. Yeah, sure. It's a cool feeling. Yeah,
because I mean, I think for some players it affects people differently, doesn't it? I mean, some players will just be like, "Oh my god, there's so many people I'm trying to zone
How am I
out."
gonna look? How am I?
Yeah, and then other people are, like yourself, you go out and you go, "This is so cool."
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, I like that a lot. We haven't touched on it too much, but weather effects and. Bruno and I had this weird discussion on Friday about the fact that we're playing in what is effectively an open-air arena. It's got a roof, but it is open air. You can feel the elements, you can feel the rain in the air when it rains. What was it like for you? I mean, we've just seen the guys down there saying it's very cold.
Yeah.
Don't want to wrap up a water.
It was quite cold this morning for us as well. Right. Maybe they could have some kind of heater or something close by behind the PCs, but yeah, just bring an extra shirt and it's no worries, I would say. Yeah, but it's a different environment, isn't it? I mean, rather than, we always play indoors and then suddenly you come here and it's maybe in the last thing you think of it, you suddenly think, oh yeah, we're kind of in the open air, maybe, we have to think about that next time. Yeah, I got more happy for sure when the sun started to show itself instead of grey sky, so it does affect everyone, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm used to it. You're from
Sweden?
Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We hate it. People always think like, oh, you're from Sweden, you love the cold and the rain. We're like, no, nobody loves the cold, nobody loves the rain. That's how it is. You just put up with it. Yeah. You're better at putting up with it because I know from being in England, a centimetre of snow falls and it's like chaos everywhere. Yeah, but like London, it rains every day. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I don't want to be too disparaging about my home country, but you know, yeah, it does rain a little bit back home. Yeah, a little bit more than it does probably in Sweden. Okay, it's a break time right now, and obviously it's going to affect the players. We know that it does. Some react to it better than others. What are your thoughts on fnatic and EG mentally right now?
It's all about the talks that the players must be having right now. I mean, I don't see fnatic on the stage right now, and probably because they're getting their things fixed. EG is still there. They're kind of hanging out. But this is the really interesting part, because right now they're like, okay, what's going on? What do we know? What should we do better? And sometimes in game it's really, really hard to get communication alone because you're all focused on your own thing. So this pause, whoever makes the most out of it will come with an advantage in the next 2 to 5 minutes in the game.
Bruno, can I ask you, Bruno, what do you think about this pause? Would you say that this could be perhaps a pause of some sort of animal pause?
Like a Franker Z pause?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean,
perhaps?
You know, like...
Is this a puppy pause? That's what I'm asking, Bruno.
When that, it's obviously, and actually this is actually the perfect example of what Merlini was talking about. Sometimes you don't want to make a pause, and in this case, obviously they didn't want to, but it's inevitable that you're going to take a tactical advantage out of that. So this pause is officially a puppy pause right now.
There is one thing though, I'm afraid, and it's for fnatic. The last time they had to face such a pause in a tournament, it was actually in EMS1, and they were facing Vici Gaming, and it was a very close series, and their rhythm was completely broken by the pause. They just would let themselves lose the game, and it was really the case, and they were very frustrated about that. So I hope they learned from that, and they will come back even stronger.
Okay, how do you cope with those pauses when things happen like this and it's annoying?
I think these pauses are really annoying. It interrupts the game flow, and I think if fnatic seem to be in a bit of a tricky position now, it can be difficult. But I hope that they can use this pause to their advantage and try to find a way that, okay, maybe we can still salvage this game, and they can come up with some good plan and make use of that.
You guys in Alliance always seem pretty chilled when this sort of stuff happens. Is that the truth, or is it like inside you're like, damn it?
I don't know, we actually hate pauses. Like, we detest pausing. We get so angry when we're just playing a scrim and somebody pauses right away. We get like, can we just play the game?
Shout out to Final, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, because, I mean, as you guys said, like, sometimes you sit and there's a pause and you sit, I mean, the Final pause was a bit shorter than this one, I would say. It was more about, what is going on? Bam, let's go. But as everyone has been mentioning, it's like so frustrating when a pause like this happens, because for example, let's say fnatic has this momentum, they know exactly what to do, and EG is like a bit pressed under pressure. Now EG can just sit down like, oh, what can they do in this game? We have the better late game, we have Roche on our side. What can fnatic do to screw up for us right now? So I think for EG should have the upper hand when it comes to this pause for sure. Someone who wants to push doesn't really want to let the other team think about what they can do.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a break here at the desk, but we will be back as soon as we possibly can with the resumption of Game 3. Don't go too far away. You're live and tuned in to the Commerzbank Arena, ESL 1 Frankfurt 2014.